What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out associated to the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So right now it is pre-market. Lucid is up 0.57%. So moving in the right direction at least. Initial jobless claims just came out a little bit hotter than anticipated, as you can kind of see. So 249 versus 236,000. Market doesn't seem to care because there's a lot of good companies unveiling their earnings, and that is what is really stimulating a lot of good momentum. Plus, at the same time, fear and greed index is starting to creep back up, so people's appetite for risk is very much there. So this is why you do see Lucid showing a lot of signs, not just yesterday, but over the last several trading days, that it does want to break out. So yesterday did have a very nice spike to around 370. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before Lucid does break out. I think a lot of points out there all do signal that Lucid's upcoming Q2 earnings is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We'll just have to, again, wait and see. One thing that did come out recently, so under my other channel, Financial Journey, I did do a video on how Lucid laid off or possibly fired 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, who was the head of digital. And so it was kind of out of nowhere because he was joined in 2022, no explanation. Normally when a VP that's been around for a while, like usually you see the company do some form of announcement, but nothing was done for Derek. So obviously it leads me to believe that he did get laid off. Hopefully during their upcoming earnings, they don't really signal that they've done another mass VP change, because this would be like the fourth in like 2.5 years, so that'd be kind of extreme. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I did see this article right here. So Lucid's China chief steps down as expansion plans ease. So this individual, once again, similar to Derek, was brought on in 2022. And I remember this exactly because when I did a video way back then, there was also another individual that was hired, and both were oriented towards expansion in China. So it did signal at the time that Lucid was going to be moving into China. And especially I think at the time as well, there was also an article that came out saying that Lucid really wants to kind of hit where all the demand is across the globe, including China. So they wanted to be in China by, I think it was 2025 or whatever. But clearly that never really amounted to anything. So I don't know if Lucid, this is an indication that Lucid is scrapping China plans, because there's a lot of competition there. When I brought this up in the past, some people are very much for it, some people are very much against it. It would be very costly for Lucid to kind of set up camp there. And again, if Lucid's struggling with demand in, for instance, North America, China would be a whole different ball game. So I get the hesitation when it comes down to that. But one thing I did want to bring up is it looks like this individual did leave to kind of go to Genesis. So this is where you can put on the tinfoil hat, because it is estimated based on especially consensus, rumors, and when I did have that chat with 𝗖𝗓𝗓, it is estimated that Lucid and Hyundai will have that partnership announced, and Genesis obviously is kind of Hyundai for the most part. So yeah, I don't know. Once again, you could put on your tinfoil hat and speculate that maybe this is planned just through a different trajectory, or again, maybe Lucid's just scrapping China plans. There's a lot of different ways that you can interpret this, but nonetheless, I feel like this is something that Lucid hopefully should voluntarily bring up in Q2 or in their earnings, on how maybe they're cycling out VPs or they're doing something. I don't know. Again, this is something to possibly speculate from, but it's very, very interesting. As of right now, though, there's been a lot of good articles coming out. I've brought up quite a lot of them in my last couple of videos about the Gravity. So I think the Gravity is preparing itself, and so the next steps are obviously crash testing for homologation. So that should be coming out probably in the next 2 weeks, most likely. So hopefully Lucid does put out some news, and they do bring that up once again voluntarily during the Q2 earnings. Right now, like I said, it is pre-market. Shorts are increasing 239,000 shares. So the fact that they are increasing and yet we're still green kind of shows that it might be a very good day. But again, sometimes the market has different plans. 26.66% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 236.06 million shares. Utilization 91.89, and then short score is 89 0.9. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. One thing that I just wanted to bring up though is shorts have been returning quite a lot over this last little bit. So that does insinuate that they might be somewhat worried about their upcoming Q2 earnings, which, like I said, I think everything is pointing to them having a pretty good earnings. As of options, the market's not open right now, so 816,000 in calls being purchased. That was from yesterday, Wednesday. And then 794 inputs. Sentiment wise, 51% of all the options being done were bearish and not necessarily the best, optimistic, but this is the open interest. As I've stated in the past, just watch for that 350 mark. That tends to be where there's a lot of manipulation brought on by shorts and market makers, because there is currently 12,000 in open interest at that 350 mark. So in reality, like, market makers won't want Lucid to close above 350 because they don't really have inventory of a lot of volatile stocks on hand, such as Lucid. So that does mean they have to go to the open market to cover that. So that equates to about 1.2 million shares. And if Lucid, for whatever reason, is able to get above 4, then 9,000 at that $4 strike price as well. So it's a interesting time. You did see a lot of abnormal transactions being done after hours yesterday, so 4.05 million. But generally, over the last several trading days, you have seen a uptick in number of transactions on the secondary market. So institutions are paying a little bit more attention to Lucid on a daily basis. So again, I see that as relatively optimistic and bullish. Right now with it at 354, you do see it trading between this pivot and this R1. So for today, 357 is going to be a strong pivot, so just watch for it to get above that. On the flip side, 342 will be that next strong kind of support. And it did bounce off that general area yesterday, so we do know that's, again, going to be strong support. So all in all, let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. When it comes down to this news, do you think it is because Lucid is scrapping China plans, or is it something bigger? Again, I think you have to put on a tinfoil hat a little bit to speculate, but nonetheless, hopefully Lucid does voluntarily, because they've been a little bit more transparent. They've been speaking a little bit more on Twitter, and plus through various like platforms and kind of interviews. So maybe they do just bring up that they're not going to be expanding, or who knows? We'll just wait and see. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, this promo has been extended up until the end of August. So simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.